I know that on your website is written that such a milestone, musical milestone, was meeting music of Miles Davis and Tony Williams. Can you comment this?
Well, I mean, up until that time, you know, everybody was sort of playing very similar, and then when Tony started playing with Miles, with Herbie Hancock and Ron Carter, where he just approached the music differently, and it was very new and exciting and different, you know.
Do you find some kind of evolution in your playing? Like, for example, now you like more using brushes or something, or you enjoy something more?
You know, yeah, playing keeps changing. I don't know why, but yeah, sometimes, you know, I use more brushes or try to play, you know, softly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, things can only get so loud.
Yeah.
And fast, and then they have to come back the other way. You know what I mean?
Okay, I know that you at one time you played with Weather Report and also Barbara Streisand.
I recorded.
Yeah. Do you change your musical approach somehow? Or?
Well, yeah, I just listen and try to let the music dictate what I play.
Yeah.
You know, so and I guess if the music calls for something different, then, you know, it just happens automatically.
Mm-hmm. I know that you played with Miroslav Vitoš, which is a Czech bass player.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember him somehow?
Yeah,
or
I played with him with Michel Petrucciani.
Yeah, yeah.
And was my first. I mean, I remember hearing Miroslav play on the album "Now He Sings, Now He Sobs" with Chicka Corey and Roy Haynes,
yeah.
and that was a very important album for me. And so having the opportunity to play with him much later was a nice experience. It was a good experience, and it was always good with Michel Petrucciani. He was always fun to play.
By the way, when you started with Chicka Corey, were there any challenges or something you had to focus on when you started? Were there
When the recordings?
Yeah.
Well, the music was challenging, but his music, you know, it was, you know, I understood where the ideas where he was coming from rhythmically, so they were challenges that made sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Some challenges are just difficult because they don't make sense. They don't make as much sense musically.
Yeah.
Those challenges made a lot of sense to me musically, so they were inspiring.
Yeah, thank you. And one more thing, you had a time when you recorded, for example, 3 sessions a day. How is it possible? How did you manage that? Can you describe your routine?
Well, that was back in the 70s. I mean, it wasn't, sometimes they would book, the union would, there were hours, like 10 to 1 was one record session, 2 to 5 was another, and 7 to 10. So sometimes, and then there were also jingle recordings, advertisements, which was like 10 to 11.
Yeah.
So it was like one time you do like 10 to 11, and then 2 to 5 and 7 to 10. It was all different kinds of things, but it was very busy in the 70s. You know, there was a lot of work.
Your playing is still full of energy. How do you keep yourself in condition?
I like to jog. I think exercise is important, and I started jogging when I was in my 40s. But I think that I found that staying fit physically is very helpful to playing the drums. So I just try to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Recently, I spoke to Jojo Meyer, and we were discussing what will the evolution of music be, which way the music will go. What do you think?
I just take it a day at a time, and I don't know where it's going to go, but it's, I don't know. you know, I hope it keeps. I hope people still keep on listening to acoustic music, but you know, people. I don't know where it'll go. I'm not sure where it'll go. I'll think about that.
Okay. And today you are here with great Hammond player, Jody Francesco, and I know that you like Hammond grooves very much. What is so specific about them?
Well, I grew up listening to that kind of music, and my dad used to take me to clubs, and I heard some great organ players, Jack McDuff and Groove Holmes, and Eugene Ludwig, Hank Marr, and it was always like those kind of grooves were special to me, and it's fun to, you know, it's fun to play them now. It's with someone like Joey and with Ronnie Huber, who used to play with Jack McDuff and George Benson, and Paul Bolenbeck, who played a lot with Joey. It's just. It's fun to play. I like it.
By the way, you played with George Benson when you were, I think, 14 or something, right?
I sat in with him. Yeah. He would come to. There would be bands coming through my hometown, and my father would take me to listen to music, and I would sit in, and so it was fun.
Okay, and now about your future. Are you going to work on some special projects now, or what's in front of you?
Well, I did a project with Edie Brickell, and which probably will come out at early 2011. And I produced it. Joey played on it a little bit. Ronnie played on it, and Pino Palladino played bass, and Andy Fairweather played guitar. And Edie wrote all the music, and I think it's going to be called Edie Brickell and the Gaddabots. So I worked hard on that as a producer, and so I look forward to that coming out. This band is fun to play music with, and hopefully there'll be an album coming out. And then I do work with James Taylor sometimes, and sometimes with Paul Simon. And, so it's like a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
You said that you work as a producer as well, so did it open somehow your approach to drumming, or?
No, I mean I haven't. I don't think so. I haven't produced. I've only produced that thing. I mean, I don't think it. I think it helped my drumming. I don't know if it changed anything. It's just another way of listening to music.
Okay, so have fun listening to music and have fun playing.
Okay, thank you
very much.
All right, see you later.